Hey friends, this is Bobby Shanks, and this is episode 3, special edition for Valentine's Day. So if you're all alone, you're single, and you need something to do, watch this podcast. I have with me today my producer, Ian Brown. Say hello, Ian.
How's it going, everybody?
And I have, for the first time, the world's greatest, most awesome, most eligible single bachelor in the Midwest, Mark Schomaker. What up, brother? How you doing? Brother from another mother. All right, so this is going to be a super awesome episode. Mark is super hilarious. How long have we known each other?
2007.
Holy crap. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, 14
It's been
years.
a long time.
Yeah.
So we, on this very special Valentine's Day podcast, we try to keep it, NC-17, so you don't have to turn the radio off if the kids are in the minivan. But on this episode, just because it's Valentine's Day, this is without a doubt an adult-only episode. So, as we always do, we're going to start with requested or rejected. Ian, what is our first topic?
We have a fun episode planned for you today. So we're going to start off with probably the softball of the entire day. But we're going to talk about V-Day flowers and chocolate. Requested or rejected? Should we be still giving the girls some flowers and chocolates, or is that old?
Okay, so the question is, do I or we as
Men,
dudes,
yeah.
do we get flowers and chocolate or some sort of acknowledgement for Valentine's Day to our girlfriend,
Exactly.
special lady? I'm afraid to ask you. Yeah.
We're going to mark them down for rejected, and now we need to know why.
All right. Well, you want my opinion? Here it goes. Flowers and chocolates are passé. I think all that does for you is show that you are unoriginal and you don't really have a thoughtful bone in your body. I think you should do something. Flowers and chocolate are fine as long as you do something else. If you really want to show a woman that you care about her, you need to do something a little bit closer to the heart.
All right, I'm on totally on board with
same.
this. So it's almost like it's a requested, but you gotta shoot some steroids in it. You gotta be unique. You gotta be different. You gotta be original, or you're just a normal schmuck.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's the thing. If you buy flowers and chocolate out of obligation, you're going to have an adverse effect that you're trying to go for.
Totally agree. 100%.
Now, if your girl is 100% always needs that or wants that, how do you feel about that? Because I personally don't like someone who is out there and just, I need this and this and this on this day, or you don't love me, or you don't care about me. That is a huge no-no in my book.
All right.
Yeah, hit it.
That's that takes things down a whole rabbit hole of conversation. So let's stick with specific to Valentine's Day.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, Ian, if your girl wants flowers and chocolate, then yes, you definitely do that.
We have beeps for that,
And-
just so you know. So you can beep all you want.
All right. So, Ian, if that's what your girl wants, that's exactly what you should do.
Yeah.
And that isn't applicable to what I just said then.
Yeah, well, I'm lucky in my situation. I don't have that issue, but if that were a thing, that would be a huge turnoff for me.
So let's go back to my original point. You have to know your woman, and you have to do something sincere.
So, I have a suggestion. And it's unique. It's different. Have you ever heard of a lover's lock?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so
Are you talking about the locks that you put on the chain link fence?
You put them on a fence. There's one in Kansas City. They're all over the country.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we have one here in St. Louis. But what you can do, like, look, get the flowers, get the chocolate, go to your favorite fondue, whatever. But and you can keep it simple. Go to Walmart. You don't have to go on to Amazon and do something elaborate. Go to Walmart. You get a lock. Try to get something big. You write on it with a Sharpie, and you have 2 keys. One for you and one for your special girl. And you write on the lock, and you just go somewhere. You don't tell her, right? Because that's right. That's what makes it special. You go somewhere. Huggy, kissy, kissy, throw it on the bridge, throw it on the fence. It could be in your own backyard, whatever. That's pretty cool. All right. So I'm a requested, but I'm with you. It's gotta be unique.
I'm a rejected.
Okay.
I think
all right. So I'm not with you.
I think you're not. No, I think if you are in a relationship, if you're in a love relationship, I think you should tailor not just Valentine's Day, but everything you do should be tailored to that person. And frankly, you don't need a special day to let them know how much you love them.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know if we should release his name because his social media is about to blow up. Hey, high five to you.
All
hey,
right.
By the way, episode 3.
Cheers.
Valentine's Day. Cheers.
Moving on.
All right, requested or rejected. Number 2.
So, Wingmen.
You and I have never done this.
No.
Oh my gosh. We would have to take a mop and bucket. That is so arrogant, but I'm not sorry because it's true.
I would challenge that you and I would be so wrapped up in our own conversation, we'd forget
right.
the whole reason why we were there.
Probably so. Wingman. Well, okay, so here's the deal. Women hunt
In packs.
in packs. Men typically do not. But when men do, highly effective, yes or no?
Are you talking about Wingman?
Yeah. 2 or 3 guys. Think about Helen Fitzgerald's.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Okay, yeah.
I think that if a man sees a woman, doesn't matter the atmosphere, it could be Helen Fitzgerald, it could be anywhere. Man sees a woman and is interested. He needs to have the balls to go up and talk to her.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
I'm
Old school.
You do not deserve to go get her number if you can't walk up and ask for it.
I totally agree. Hey, I
So-
did that.
So,
I did that recently. It worked out.
I think a man needs to be confident enough to not need a wingman. Now, when the wingman really comes into play is you need a wingman to occupy the pack
You and I would be
and
so
keep
good.
them focused
Totally.
so you can actually have a good, relevant conversation. That's why you need a wingman.
All right, so let's talk about places. But before we say request or reject, Wingman Cardinals game, yes or no?
That's a tough one for me because I feel like Cardinals games aren't really...
Real Cardinals games, not COVID games.
I don't feel like Cardinals games are always the best opportunity to talk to women because a lot of times people are there with friends. They're not there looking for anything. They're there really to hang out with friends
I think
and
that's
hang out
what
with
makes
family.
it so great.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's some scarcity, right? So the law of, just the numbers and the probabilities are low. But if you're there for that purpose, right, the law of attraction will bring it to you.
Okay.
If you're looking for it. Okay, pick a spot. Cardinals. Okay, a bar. And I don't mean like a crappy old smoky crusty bar.
How
I
about,
mean
how
a
about
nice
this?
place.
How about Ballpark Village pregame?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a big yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, requested or rejected? Do we have a wingman or do we not have a wingman? Is that the situation? I just want to make sure I'm very
Yeah,
clear.
that's the situation.
Okay. I don't feel I need a wingman. Personally, if I really want to talk to a girl, I'm going to go talk to her. However, after that initial contact, sometimes you need somebody to occupy the audience so you can have a conversation.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes the wingman can be a complete deterrent if you're there with a complete asshole.
Let me tell you.
Totally true too.
Like,
Let me tell you, as a man, you pick your wingman particularly.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting into. Sometimes you can be in a situation, I'm speaking for a lot of men here, sometimes you can be in a situation where you look over your shoulder to see who you're there with, and you're like, I don't know if I got the right...
I wouldn't pick you as a wingman
I don't
because
know
you're
if I-
better looking than me.
You're like, I don't know.
Why
if-
would she be interested in me? I'm with Mark.
I don't know if I brought the right army for this battle.
Right. Okay, Ian, I'm a rejected. I love the idea, but I'm a lone wolf. I don't want to hunt with any other hunters. I don't want to, I want to want. I mean, look, this is a dude-isode, right? An episode with dudes, so I'm going to use kind of some masculine words, including some that I'm going to make up. If I'm going to wander the prairie, I want to do it alone.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm right there
I'm
with
a
you.
lone wolf.
Yeah,
That's how
I
I
mean,
roll.
I don't think I've ever done this in my entire life. I've been the wingman, but I don't think I would ever want someone there to support me. I would actually have more fun being the wingman, supporting someone else. Like, that would be more
Now,
my
I would
style.
enjoy being a wingman,
That would be fun.
but I don't need a wingman.
Right. And I have enjoyed being the wingman. To me, that's the
would do
most
that.
fun because when I go out, I don't go out with the purpose of trying to look for anything. I go out solely with the purpose of just having a good time. That's it.
Yeah.
What about, okay, I got to go here. I know we got to move on, but okay. What about a wingman at church?
I don't go to church.
Well, that's fine. I do. But there was an occasion, not recent, but I probably could have used a wingman at church. In other words, someone that this other gal knew when she didn't know me. Eek. Is that weird?
That's not really a wingman.
What is that?
That's just connecting the links of the chain.
Yeah, that's more of a.
That's more looking for an end.
That's a
Yeah,
net,
I guess
that's
it
a
is
net-
kind of
that's
weird to
more
say
networking.
wingman at church.
Like, that's a network. That's a networking.
It's
thing.
networking. It's a
Ian's
referral
right.
thing.
As always, Ian's right.
Yeah, but I mean, personally, I 100% would have more fun playing matchmaker than being on the other side. But
Yeah. All right, rejected.
all right,
Yeah, rejected.
Hit us with one more.
last topic: being the rebound or being rebound. I don't know what's the term. What's the term? Or using someone
Being
as
a reboundee or being a rebounder.
Exactly. Oh Lord. So
God, that's almost two parts, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about being a reboundee first.
Okay.
Somebody's using you to be for the rebound.
All right. So I do have some experience in this. I'm happy to report I have limited experience in this because I identified it very early on. Mm-hmm. And while our female viewing audience would probably think that guys like me, I'm not going to speak for you, would love to be that guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not that guy. I don't want to be that guy because nothing good can come from it. So I don't want to be the guy I don't want to be the next guy after the last relationship that ended for whatever horrible reason.
Okay.
I'd rather them go swim, come back and see me in 6 months.
Okay. I disagree.
I know you would. I love you, man. Now give everybody the answer they really want to hear
So,
because I'm such a wuss.
I disagree. I think being a reboundee, being the person receiving the rebounder,
Yep.
I think it's all about honesty. That rebounder comes to you and just says, hey, look, I'm fresh out of a really bad situation. I really just need some companionship right now. We're good because the honesty is there.
Okay. I'm just going to resign. You can come sit in my chair. I quit, Ian.
I did take your baby
Episode
calf.
3, I just quit.
I did take Bertha, your baby calf.
Yeah, you did take my calf. Anyways, that actually, not only is that the right answer, that's the right answer to every question. If you're going to date the right way, because if you're just honest, even when it feels kind of yucky, like, look, at my age, I'm at an age where honesty has done more to harm me than to help me. But I still do it. Because I just don't want to piss people off, ruin my
I feel like
reputation.
honesty is all we've got.
Yeah, you don't want to be a herder. I'm not a herder. You know, I don't want to hurt somebody's
And
feelings.
here's the
or
thing.
screw
Sometimes
up their
being
life.
honest, let me rephrase that. Probably most of the time being honest is not, it's always not easy. It's
Correct.
sometimes hurtful, but it's always the right thing.
It's always the right thing.
So we've got one requested, one rejected for that side. The flip side of the coin is, how do you feel if you were broken up with, needing to go find a rebound?
I went first last time.
Waiting for your lead, boss. Maverick over there. I'm Goose. So, being a rebounder, my best response for that would be, I'll fall back to the honesty statement, because you need to say, you need to recognize where you're at in this situation. That said, you can't come off as a needy rebounder, MRF.
Yeah, the needy word.
Yeah.
The needy word.
So you can.
It's like dirty laundry to me.
You can never come across needy. But if you can come across and say, hey, look, I'm fresh out of a relationship. I'm looking for some companionship. That's where I'm at. Are we good? They have an option to bail. They can do their negative 4G dive inverted, right? I love Top Gun references, by the way.
I
They
think-
can do their negative.
Tower requesting a flyby.
I think was it
Negative
Top Gun
Ghost
2 coming
Rider.
out
The
this
pattern
summer?
is full.
Maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
So they can, they can bug out. They can see the MIG and bug out.
Yeah. Yep.
Or they can say, you know what, I'm in.
Okay, so I'm going to take this to another level. And I know this is request or reject, but this will veer here. So, does said relationship include benefits? Wink, wink.
Okay.
Right, because that's the issue. Like, if a girl came to me and said, look, my 2-year boyfriend was not my boyfriend. I found out that I was actually the side chick. And I just want somebody like you, really cool, fun, conversational. You got a Harley, just hang out, let's have fun. I'm totally that guy. But when you commingle the benefit thing, it doesn't work.
Okay.
Eventually it will break.
All right. I love to challenge people, and so now I'm going to challenge you.
Hit. Oh, man. You could actually defeat me. So let's hear it.
What if that's just what she really needed? Here's the thing. Here you are. You're you, and you're a good dude, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to screw anybody over.
No,
that's
not
what
how I
she
roll.
needed. And if you don't give that to her, she's going to go possibly get what she needs from the wrong dude.
Oh, she will. Or she'll get it somewhere else.
But
Right.
is that your problem?
So what is the better option?
Is that your problem, though?
The better option for me, she's better off getting it somewhere else.
Okay.
I feel bad about that, but whoever the next guy is going to end up being the bad guy, and I'm not the bad guy.
I think you can be a rebounder without being a bad guy.
Right, but when you commingle the benefits, right, friends with benefits, let's just call it what it is, that's a no-go for me. That's not for me.
So I guess that puts you in requested, right?
I don't even know.
I don't
Where
know
are we
anymore.
at with this thing?
Yeah, I don't know where we
I'm
got.
gonna say rejected with terms.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's the middle ground right there.
Dude, you're going to be back. You're going to be back. You're going to be back.
All right.
You're going to, it won't even be my choice. Our audience is going to say, yeah, he needs to be back. High five.
all right,
I agree with
so
him.
before-
Requested with terms.
Before we move on, for all you out there, for our next episode, we are putting together a 10. Well, what do we call it? The 10 things I
10,
can't.
non-negotiable.
Yeah, non-negotiable things I can't live without. So we've already had a few submissions. Send us a video recording and tell us what you cannot live without as far as a girl, a body part. It could be an emotional thing. What is something that is a non-negotiable for you in dating? Send us that, and you're going to actually be on our next podcast.
If you're interested in being one of our sponsors, I would love to hear from you. Send us a message via direct message, Insta message on Instagram, Facebook, or wherever you're watching us, and we'll be in touch with you.
Now we're on to our thick and juicy main topics for today.
I can't do a drum roll. I suck.
I
Sorry.
forget what our main topics are. What
What is our main topic, Ian?
All right.
Take it away.
So there's the age-old boobs or butt discussion that happens in every male circle across the world.
It does.
So we're going
It
to
does.
we're going to take this to a better level.
Boobs or butt.
So
Oh my gosh.
we're going to take
I
this
feel
to
like
the
a
level
child.
of what is.
Thanks.
Oh, I mean, that it is pretty. It's a pretty childish conversation.
It
Let's
is,
be
but
honest.
every
It
man
is.
has it.
It is. My girlfriend even asked me this. She's like, "What do you like?" And I'm like, "I don't even know."
You.
You.
I like
whatever.
answer. The
Whatever
same
you
answer.
are.
of the
The
time
same
is always
answer.
you.
Whatever.
You,
And
baby.
she says no.
I like it all.
And if there's a trick there, you watch for the trap door. She will say, no, I mean, we're cool. You can say whatever.
I actually-
Everything is fine. And then she says, just tell me, what do you like? If you don't accurately describe her to a T, you are.
Okay, well, I have to admit,
Agreed.
I found the unicorn and I did not get that response. It was
Okay.
It was completely the opposite.
Always respond with, I found the unicorn, and you will be just fine.
Yeah. All right, so
I'm taking notes over here. Thank you.
moving
I
on.
found the unicorn.
moving on.
Really good.
I know, right?
Moving on to.
He said it.
No, okay. Have you guys not seen this video? There's a video, and the guy, he's like, "This is the," he's graphing it
Oh,
out.
it's the Hot Crazy Matrix.
Yeah,
Everybody
exactly.
The
knows
Hot Crazy Matrix. It's like one of the greatest YouTube sensations of all
Exactly.
YouTube history.
And I'm saying, like, I found the unicorn. I'm dead serious.
Always, again, Ian, always say that.
Oh, what does he say? The unicorn. He's got right.
Or
he's
you're
got-
dating a
he's like-
dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He says, and if you have a unicorn, first of all, you need to capture it because we need to study that. Remember that?
Yeah.
He's like the Bob from the movie The Office.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay,
We're gonna
circling
study
back.
it.
let's circle back to.
Yeah. What are we talking
Our-
about?
So-
Okay, we're talking about Ian having the perfect response.
He does. He's an evil
I
genius.
have found the unicorn, and us encouraging him to always use that response.
Always.
Always.
So,
But what's the question?
so
I already
That
got.
is your answer to every question.
Here's the real question.
Boobs or butt? The answer is unicorn. Roger that. Taking notes.
All right, so
Are
here's
you a boobs or a butt guy? Honey, I have found the unicorn. You're in.
It'll work every time.
So-
every time.
Every time.
here is the real question that we're answering today.
Okay.
Okay, so going beyond the middle school discussion of boobs or butt, what is the female body part, or what is the thing on the female body that you're most attracted to?
Ooh, I know
Because-
my answer. I know my answer.
Because for most guys, it's not those two
It's not.
answers.
I have
it's
my
not.
answer.
And so I think we need
I'm
to
bursting here. I want to answer.
Okay, go for it.
It's hair for me. It's hair for me. I can't explain it. It's as if it's something in my DNA. There is a certain type of color that I like, but that's not important because the most important thing is I'm all about long hair. If you don't have long hair, it's an absolute no-go for me. Period. Okay, so now I'll say a number 2. Number 2 is face. People and women, their body changes a lot throughout their lifetime. So I'm all about the face. If you got a great face and it's like super duper attractive to me to like what I like, that's number 2.
You're looking at me. You're ready for me to answer. I think you're
I'm
scared.
I'm not going to say number 3.
I think you're scared.
I'm going to hold number 3 back. I'm not going to release that to the public because my number 3 is super important to me. Like, it's so important, it would supersede number 1 and number 2. But I'm going to tell you, it would have to be unbelievable.
And on podcast episode number 4, we'll have number 3.
Nope.
No.
Not doing it.
Okay.
I have to keep something private, you know?
Sure.
What do you got for me?
All right. Well, here's what I have for you. So here's the thing. Boobs and butt conversation. My only criteria is that they both need to exist. For me, I love the woman figure, and a woman figure has to have those curves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if
I'm
they
there.
are either one of those two are non-existent, I wouldn't say I'm out, but it's challenging for me.
Yeah.
There needs to be something. Doesn't have to be extra big. Doesn't have to be
Okay.
any size, but it needs to exist.
I have a question.
Okay.
Breast augmentation, affectionately known in the cosmetic world as boob job.
What about it? What's your question?
Yes or no?
No, I'm good. If
Okay.
you, frankly, if you were underdeveloped and as a woman, and that makes you feel better to have something there, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
I am not a fan.
Okay. Well, you should never get it then.
You're such an ass. I will
And on
try
that-
not to.
Episode number 4, Rob gets a boob
Right.
job.
On this episode, with Christian Prada, the foremost St. Louis plastic surgeon, Bobby gets boobs.
Bobby gets boobs.
Bobby gets boobs.
Now they're
5, 6,
I
7, 8,
don't know.
9,
I
and
think
10.
my boobs are okay. So, but what I do like about it is, I wish I can't say that I've done research on this, but because of the industry I'm in an industry where it's 85% women, and most of those women are very well kept, well maintained, and care about their image and appearance, whatever. So it dramatically boosts their self-confidence.
Right. So
That part I'm on board with.
Yeah,
100%.
It's good in that regard, and frankly, a lot of times women just are underdeveloped, and that's
Yeah.
why they feel the need to do that. So
Or
do what makes
if
you
you're
happy. I mean, at the end of the day, do what makes you happy. But that's
Okay,
not the
that I
question.
agree with.
That's not the question. The question
do
is,
you.
what do I like? Right. That's the question that on the table.
do you have a size preference?
What I like. They just no, I don't have a specific size preference. My only request.
I bet you and I are exactly the same.
They just both need to exist. There
Yeah.
needs to be something there. I can't do absolutely minus. I can't do 0 flat line on either area. There needs to be something there in both regards. Now, I will tell you, we were talking about all body parts. It's going to sound incredibly shallow, but I have to be honest here.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Weight's a big deal for me.
Okay. Okay. So weight, height, right? Boobs, butt. There's a phrase, and I'm going to insert it right here, right before you answer, and I call it HWP. Height, weight, proportionate.
Yep.
I have dated girls 5 foot. I've actually dated one girl that was 6 foot, and she was unbelievable, like bikini model. But it was all proportionate. That was the main thing. So
I'm there.
totally agree.
No, you and I are there.
Yeah.
So I don't.
And women agree too. They want a guy that's HWP.
Right. And so that's all I want. Everything needs to be in line with one another. And
Yeah.
so that's where I'm at with it. I wouldn't say I hone in on any specific body part personally. I just like a good overall average. How about that?
Yeah.
So our final topic for today is something that Bobby and I learned about all of about 20 minutes ago.
I remember. Okay, this is
So
gonna be awkward.
we were just having a discussion between the three of us before we hit the record button. We were talking about the fact that Valentine's Day is a female holiday. It is intended 110% for females, and there is no guy alternative. Come to find out, there is, and it was brought to our attention by our guest, so we're going to allow him the floor to explain this day and build a little foundation of why this day exists.
Mark?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So let me first build a
Can I just put a bag over my head during this part?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
So before I respond to you, Ian, let's first build a foundation based on our previous conversations. So, number one, Valentine's Day, yes, you're absolutely right, is very female-centric. However, Valentine's Day for any good male in a relationship, and I'm sorry, that's a challenge for a lot of people, but for any good male in a relationship, you don't need Valentine's Day. Quite frankly, Valentine's Day should be just another day because you show your person every day how much you love them, how important they are in your life, and it's not a question. You don't need a special day to tell you to do these things. You don't need a trigger. So, you should be doing that every day. If not every day, pretty regularly to let your special person know how much you love them. So, I have a chip on my shoulder of Valentine's Day because I've always pegged myself personally as somebody who I don't need a special day. I don't need a call to action. What I need is to know that every day on a regular basis, I'm letting that person know how special they are in my life. So I want to set the precedence there because that's important for my next conversation topic, which is what you're calling me out on. All right.
And pray tell, Mark, what are we calling you out on?
You're calling me out on March 14th. So
Okay, so first of all, let me just say, kudos to you. Like, I consider myself a pretty, contemporary, knowledgeable dude as far as culture goes. I mean, I'm fairly well read. I'm social media, I'm in the public. But this particular thing, I had no clue about.
Yep.
I'm actually embarrassed to say I had no clue about it.
So
I'm glad I know
March
about
14th
it now. Not that that's going to help me, but I'm glad.
March 14th. If you don't know what March 14th is, go to your friend Google. Ask Google what March 14th is. And
Smoogle the Google for March 14th.
so what March 14th really is, March 14th was, you know what? Well, let's call it a renaissance. It was a renaissance of men several years ago that said, hey, you know what? Valentine's Day is all about chicks. We need a day all about dudes. So they created March 14th Day.
Exactly, basically 1 month later.
Exactly. And the whole point of March 14th Day, which is only what I'm going to reference it as, is it is Valentine's Day.
You're going to make me do it.
It's Valentine's Day for men. Okay?
And does March 14th, Valentine's Day for men, have a name?
It does. So.
And it is.
So
it starts with, can I?
You can do whatever you want. It's your show.
Okay. It's called Steaks and...
BJ.
Okay, well, so, all right, we got it out there. Continue.
So, Valentine's Day is a
Great name,
manufactured
by the way.
holiday that is engineered to make men who, quite frankly, some of us men need a reminder to do something special for a woman to let them know how much we love them. I know I have that same heavy sigh.
Oh.
I have the same heavy sigh.
I did it unintentionally, too. I'm
No.
caught on camera doing
Here's
it.
the problem. I have a big chip on my shoulder, and
Yeah.
the reason I have a big chip on my shoulder is the
I do
same
too.
reason you just heavy sighed.
I do too.
And the reason is
I do.
because if you're doing your job as a man in a heterosexual relationship, every day should be Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it's not,
I believe you should date, if you're in a relationship with, in a relationship, you should be dating your significant other minimum once a week.
Amen, brother.
Once a week. Minimum.
Let's paraphrase. If you are a heterosexual male and you are not making that female feel like they are the most important person in your world
Preach.
on a regular basis, you're fucking up.
Capital F.
Yeah.
Capital F.
So,
Sorry.
what Valentine's Day is really engineered for is men who can't figure out how to make their women feel special on a regular basis. That's a challenge and a statement all at the same time.
And it's also a reminder. It serves as just a, hey, by the way, you might want to do something once a year.
Here's the thing. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be once a year. If you're struggling to do that once every month or every other month, you're being a bad spouse.
Yeah. Or significant other, or boyfriend, or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
So
for
here's
sure.
the thing. I have a chip. Let's go back to the beginning. I have a chip on my shoulder about Valentine's Day because Valentine's Day shouldn't exist, because if your man is doing exactly what they should do, Valentine's Day doesn't need to happen. Now, let's say you are a person that needs Valentine's Day because, quite frankly, you're just not good at it. And a lot of men out there are just not good at it. So you need Valentine's Day to say, hey, look, baby, I love you. You shouldn't take it as a hit. It's just one of those things where sometimes we need a reminder. Sometimes we need Thor's hammer on our head to say,
I love that expression. Thor's hammer.
yeah.
Ugh. Love
So
it.
you need that reminder of, hey, MRFer, you need to wake the F up
Yep.
and do something.
You do.
That doesn't mean you're a bad human. It just means that's who you are. It's part of your makeup.
Yeah.
So you do that, and you use Valentine's Day as that expression to say, that's my one time a year of, baby, I love you. You're everything in the world to me. And they express that in whatever way they possibly.
So I want you to go back to something that you said before we started recording, and you were talking about how there needs to be some sort of reciprocation in relationships, and I kind of use the analogy of a Super Ball. You know, if you drop the Super Ball from 10 feet, you know, it needs to rebound from the other person at least 5 or 6, or there's no limit, but there has to be that reciprocation. It can't be a brick. It has to rebound in some way, and you have to give back what you're receiving in a relationship.
Amen, brother. Preach. So here's the thing. At the end of the day, any woman who thinks that Valentine's Day is their day to shine and they don't have to do anything in reciprocation to that, you're now failing as a woman.
And, you know, Valentine's Day is the day, and I think there's really the only person who has anything to lose on that day is the male, and the female only has gain. She can only win that day. The only person who can lose that day is the guy. And that doesn't create a reciprocation in a relationship. That creates a give to me and, you know.
Go, Rob. So you and I have about 16 tons of energy built up right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
You first.
I'm a big believer in the love languages. I really am. It is the one book that I have read more than any other book. It was written by Dr. Gary Chapman. I was so fortunate enough to actually meet him in person and have a very brief conversation. So if you're not familiar with Gary Chapman and the five love languages, you need to do that. It's going to change your outlook, married or single. Now, on that note, as it relates to Valentine's Day, if you have a significant other, and I'm trying to speak gender neutral here, so if you're a girl and you're thinking about your guy, if you're a guy thinking about your girl, and their love language is quality time, then you need to think in terms of, on that day, quality time, but all days, to your point. Because every day, or at least once a week, you should be thinking about your significant other. You don't live your life for your job, or I'm going to say as a man, you don't live your life for your kids either. They're a huge part of your life, but they're not your life. So you need to think about your significant other's love language, and there are some people whose love language is gifts. But it doesn't mean it has to be an engagement ring or some crazy, elaborate gift, right? Like a material item. It could be, the point is, recognize who your significant other's one of their 5 love languages. So here's can I make a suggestion? Whether you're the normal dude, okay, so let me footnote. If you're the normal dude, you're the dude that all women complain about.
Preach it.
I feel yucky saying that.
No.
I feel like a traitor.
Challenge.
Against my own species, but it's the truth.
Challenge. Don't be typical.
Right, don't be typical. Yeah, you can't be. Not if you're really in love. Not if you're really, you don't even have to be in love. If you're really significantly, meaningfully pursuing someone, you've got to stand out. You just do.
Agreed. And kind of let's segue this conversation to just, and we started on Valentine's Day. We kind of got off track, but to bring us back, there is an issue with our society, and it's something that's been driving me crazy since I was in the dating world, and since I started being in this world, that there is a lack of accountability on one side and there is over accountability on the other side. Men are expected to treat their women like queens, and women are not expected to reciprocate that and treat them.
Can I give an amen and preach on that?
I mean, I mean, it's true.
And as guys,
it's true.
As guys, I don't expect that because I don't need that. I think that might just be the difference in our species. Like, I don't need that fulfillment or that sort of treatment. But my point is that if a female expects a male to treat her one way and she's not willing to give it back, I don't think she deserves it.
Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, we're going to get fired up now. We're getting fired up.
Should I go get the boxing glove? Because I'm
shit.
ready.
You know what? We might
ready.
have to punch each other in the face just to calm down. Okay. Tell me what the bird is where it's a penguin. It's a northern bird. It takes the rock as a sign of its affection, as a sign of its commitment, as a sign of its pursuit of the female bird. It's some sort of penguin, and it grabs a rock, and it carries it or scoots it or whatever it does to the female. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not at all.
Ugh. Facebook, slap in the face. Okay, so there's this bird in the north, and as a sign of its mating, okay, which we'll call dating, yes, it takes a rock to its trying to date or mate, suitor, this female bird.
God, if it was only that easy. Here's my
But
rock.
that's a metaphor.
Right.
That's a
I
metaphor
get it.
for what Ian's talking about.
Right. Here's my rock. I like you, yo. So here's the thing. You, as a male or a female, doesn't matter of gender, you can't expect more than what you give. And I'm translating what
I
you're
agree.
saying. You can't expect more than what you give. So you can't expect your man to kiss your feet, to bow down to you and give you everything you want and not return. Vice versa. You, as a man, you can't expect your woman to do everything that you need and want and not give her something in return.
This is chicken and egg stuff right
A
here.
relationship truly needs to be 50-50. So,
Agreed.
when we're talking about Valentine's Day, what we're really talking about is, yes, Valentine's Day is a chick holiday. It's geared towards them. But your woman needs to know they have to respond. They have to respond in some way. And we'll get to how the response is.
Yeah.
What
Well,
response
this
matters.
brings us back to the male version of this holiday that was created. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So,
Steaks and
BJ.
thank you.
Okay? So, here's the thing. Because Valentine's Day is engineered as a female holiday, females can't take that as this is a get out of jail free card. They can't take it as oh yeah, this is all about me and I never have to be all about him. That's BS.
Yeah.
Both parties need equal treatment.
There's a huge issue, blame on whatever you want to blame it on, of women out there that are, I hate to use this word, but entitled. And I'm not saying this as, I'm not trying to be negative in this, but there are a lot of women who have grown up expecting one thing and not giving the other part. And it's a cultural thing. It's not like they just woke up one day and decided, this isn't. It was groomed into them from birth.
Can I give another amen and preach?
Yeah, amen.
Amen and preach to Ian.
Amen. Preach, word. Amen. Preach, word, and heard. So, equality versus inequality. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to say where I'm at.
Sure.
And I don't really give a shit if people agree with me or not, men or women. Mm-hmm. Equality in the workplace, requested. Equality in income, when it is true equality, and that's a can of worms, requested. Totally requested.
Here's the thing. Everything is based on performance, right?
Performance based.
Right.
Like, look, here's the deal. I'm a real estate agent. 85% of my coworkers are women. And let me tell you, I have met and worked with, along side by side with some powerhouse women that I respect and I have learned from.
I would challenge in your industry, you're at a defect being a male.
Well, okay. So
Yes and no. Yeah.
that is an interesting discussion.
Maybe for another
let me
day?
just say, that is something to be navigated.
Okay.
But that is a fun discussion.
Let's get back to the fact
But
that
back to this.
equality in relationships.
Okay.
Or
equality in relationship, 100%. But not equality on the same things.
You have roles.
Yes!
Gender roles exist.
Yes!
So,
Hey, let's get back to the roles.
hold on. I'm going to change this. It's not a gender role. It's a role.
It's a role.
Regardless, it's a role. And the reason I'm taking gender out of this is because I know people.
I got excited. I'm sorry. It's such a hot button for me.
I'm
not sorry, actually.
There are people that I know where the man controls the money, and that works out well for them. There are men, or I'm sorry, edit that out. There are couples that I meet where the woman controls the money, and that works well for them.
Controls or manages?
Manages.
Okay. All right.
It's
I just want to clarify.
It's really
just want to
the
clarify.
same thing. It's the same thing.
No, but true. But I just wanted to clarify because of a past experience that I've had.
So, and then I have also encountered couples where they kept everything separate. Man managed his money, woman managed her money, and that also worked.
I've encountered that as well.
Okay.
In a 40-plus year marriage, actually.
So here's the thing. When we talk about this, it's not about right or wrong. It's about what works here. And it's about roles. And here, I'm going to step it up a notch. Here is really what we're talking about. We're talking about roles in a relationship. Okay? Sometimes you have men who are very clearly dominant in the relationship. Sometimes you have women who are very clearly dominant in the relationship. It doesn't fucking matter who does what. What really matters is you know your place. So, what really matters is you are responsible for ABC. I'm responsible for XYZ. That's what's important. What happens, in my opinion, where it fails is I'm really responsible for XYZ, but I want to be responsible for ABC, and you're not giving me the opportunity to do that. Okay, that's just an open discussion. Quite frankly, that's an open discussion. But if you have clearly defined roles of who does what, don't care what your gender is. Sorry for the F-bomb. Quack. I don't care what your gender is. If you have clearly defined roles, every relationship needs clearly defined roles. And you have clearly defined roles.
And how do you get there? How do you get
successful?
there?
Right from the beginning.
Conversation, talk.
Right from the beginning. It's conversation, it's communication, and it starts right up front. Okay, so here's the thing. You know what? Rob, you and we're in a relationship right now. Okay?
You're not pretty enough for me.
I would challenge that I'm too pretty for you.
You're out of my league?
So out of your league.
Probably.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
You and I are in a relationship. Here's what we need to discuss. Who's in charge of social affairs?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Who's in charge of finances?
Agreed.
Who's in charge of family?
Right. Kids and family. Yep. Mm-hmm. 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 There's more.
Who's in charge inside the house?
Last one.
Who's in charge outside the house?
Oh my God, dude. You are we're brothers.
I'm telling you.
We are so connected.
To add on to this, it's, again, probably a 60-40 thing. Even though you're in charge, doesn't mean you do everything for it. It means that you are the one that takes the lead in the initiative.
Yes. So here's the thing.
No, totally true. Totally true.
Here's the
dude,
thing.
that just so you know, you're freaking me out right now. I just want everybody to know, Mark and I have been pals for a long time, and we've had, beer and hot wings once a year or two.
For a decade.
Right, for a decade. But the stuff we're talking about right now, we've never talked to this level before.
Never.
Never. And the things he just listed off, if I were answering the same question, those are the same things I would have listed off. And when you said inside the house, outside the house, inside the home, outside the home, dude, insert the mind blown right here. I hope women agree with this.
Here's the thing.
I hope.
Here's the thing. It has nothing to do with gender, has nothing to do
Not
with
at all.
equality, has nothing to do with anything. Here's what it has to do with. It has everything to do with, I know my role, I know my responsibility. I know my role, I know my responsibility. I know what I'm in charge of. I know what I need to own. I'm going to own my shit. And then, that's the next step. Own your shit. Right? You know what your role is.
Okay.
And now own your shit. And here's what's happening. Here's what's happening. We're complimenting each other.
Yeah.
You're owning your shit. I'm owning my shit. And because we're owning our shit together, we're a
Okay, so here's my question. I don't even know where we're at on minutes here, but this is good stuff. Assuming that people who think like us agree with us, and based upon the feedback I've received, like thousands of direct messages I've received at this point, and comments on across our platforms, are in agreement with us. Why is it broken?
I'm going to tell you why it's broken. Because people aren't owning their... I'm being very serious here. So here's the thing. Because somebody failed at their job.
And also, what we talked about earlier, there is no playbook, there is no instruction manual, there is no...
What you can
There is
have...
no faking it till you make it.
No. What you can have is clearly defined terms. And if you are both in agreement on clearly defined terms, that is what is going to make a good relationship, because you have very clearly defined terms. So here's the thing. You might get tired of your job. And when I talk about your job, I'm talking about your job in the relationship. You might get tired of your job. So your
And
role,
and just so I'm softening it up for our ladies here, by job you mean your role,
right?
right?
Your role is your job. So maybe at some point, Rob, you decide, I know that I'm in charge of external affairs. I am the PR person. I'm the PR person. I'm someone that was supposed to reach out to all of our friends and family every time there's a family function. It's exhausting. I hate it. I don't like it. Now, here's where things go right or wrong. Your options are to come to me and say, hey, you know what? This is my role. I've accepted it as my role early in our relationship, but we're 10 years in now. And I don't like it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. So can I give this to you?
Fair.
Can I give this to you? However, when you want to pass the torch and say, can you do this? You have to be willing to take something else. So if Rob comes to me and says, I don't want to do this anymore. This sucks. I hate organizing our family together. I hate getting these things situated. I want you to do it. I don't want to do it anymore. However, I realize I'm passing the torch. I want you to do this. Because of that, I'm willing to take on our finances. I'm willing to take on that role and manage our finances and take that off your plate. So that way we both have equal plates. You're not taking more than I am. I'm not taking more than you are. There's that. That's one approach. Okay? The second approach would be, I'm tired of this. I can't do it anymore. Would you be willing to take this off my plate? And if you are willing to take this off my plate, what can I take off yours?
That doesn't happen, dude.
Here's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. The problem
the
is
problem.
I'm living in a fantasy world.
And we're two guys.
Right.
Right? This is like chick stuff.
Right.
And even two guys like us, even we know this.
Right. So here's the
The
thing.
women think we don't.
The situation that I just presented isn't abnormal. It's very normal.
Agreed.
it's a typical situation. I'm going to say that's every relationship, right? And
Functional.
The solution that I proposed is a very normal solution that 99% of this audience is going to say, sounds great. You're absolutely right. Works. But nobody does it.
Okay, what is it?
Nobody does it. Nobody does that. Because somewhere...
What gets in the way?
Respect. They get so caught up in themselves. So caught up in me. I'm so caught up in me, in what is making me angry and frustrated, that I haven't taken a second to think about you. So that's what happens. That's what happens. So what I proposed, here's the thing. Mind-blowing, right? Not really. No. If everybody could just do that, we'd have a 2% divorce rate, you know? But it doesn't happen. It simply doesn't happen. And there's a couple of reasons why it doesn't happen, in my opinion. And the reason it doesn't happen is because, number one, you lose respect for one another. Another reason I think it happens is because you let things go to an extent where it becomes so obtuse, so big,
it's hard to balance.
that you can't. It's like, no. The problem is you should have had that response at, I don't know, call it level 2, but you waited to get it to level 8 before you chose.
Like DEF CON.
Right.
Right. It should have been responded at DEF CON 4, and by DEF CON 2, it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too
so
late.
You're exactly
The,
right.
the nuclear.
So that's
at DEF CON 2, you're right. Troops are deployed. Bombs are in the air. Right. The nukes are going to blow.
Exactly right. So that's the problem. That's ultimately a problem. We let it go way too long before we make it an
Resentment
issue.
sets in.
Resentment sets in. So you've got that. And then you're like, well, I know for a fact that Rob could never handle putting a party together. You know? So I have to take it.
I can throw a party.
You know? And that's kind of a respect thing, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a respect thing. It's like,
Yeah.
you're underestimating your spouse. Your spouse is capable of much more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
So
It's big. It's big.
Bring us home, man.
We have to kind of talk as guys. Do we like this idea of a male Valentine's Day? Is this we can go back to requested or rejected? Why? Yes, no. Does it matter to you?
I have an opinion.
Go for it.
Well,
Okay.
if
I'm
it's
going to give you two
Wait a
options.
minute, hold on. If it's steaks and
BJ.
I'm a requested
All right. So I have two.
in the literal, but if we're talking about in the spirit of what we just had a conversation about, I'm a rejected.
I have two
It
options.
should be ongoing.
I have options. All right. Option number one is, you really, the way I see it, you have two options. Number one is recognize one holiday, but recognize that as a 50% your responsibility day. Doesn't matter who you are. It's 50% your responsibility day. So, okay, you know what? Just like Christmas.
Yes.
Just like Christmas for the kids, right? So you are half responsible for the kids. I'm half responsible for the kids. Let's get together and do something great for the kids. That's how Valentine's Day should be. So option number one is it's 50-50, and we both do the same for each other. Or we do.
You know what they should call it?
Let me rephrase that. Let's both do something for each other.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Or option two would be...
I'm listening. Keep coming.
Option two is Valentine's Day. Recognize it as a chick's holiday. Recognize it as this is all about you day.
Right.
And
Like Mother's Day.
Exactly right. Mother's Day also has a reciprocal, which is,
Father's Day.
all right.
We're on
So
the same
recognize
page.
Valentine's Day as a Mother's Day, a Spouse's Day, right?
Yep.
And then you recognize March 14th as the reciprocal.
I love it. Okay. I agree. Right. We're talking about equality. There's not a co-equal to Valentine's Day. in terms of the conversation we've had today. I would argue, well, actually, I wouldn't argue. I would promote love the one you're with day. And if that one you're with doesn't exist and you are the one you're with because you're undateable,
Take yourself on a date.
All right. So
take yourself out.
all right, Rob.
Like, I want steak and a...
BJ. All right. So
But I'm not going to... Right, but I'm going to go out for a steak, right? I'm going to go to Texas Roadhouse and have a steak and have a drink and...
all right. Here's the
the
moral
one
of the
you're
day.
with.
In my opinion, here's the moral of the day. Bottom line is, Valentine's Day is not a receive day. Valentine's Day is a give day. Doesn't matter who you are. Valentine's Day is a give day. Now, all of that said, if you're doing your job, you don't need a Valentine's Day. You need to do your job. Do your job. Do it well. Work hard. Have fun. Enjoy life. Boom.
Agreed.
Now, we're gonna open up one more can of worms, and then we're gonna let you guys.
Trust me, dude. We're just getting
Yeah.
started.
So here's our last can.
This
of
is
worms.
intermission. We're ready for second half.
You were saying something earlier that you started on some dating apps, and
Who are you addressing right now?
you
All right.
started on some dating apps, and you had something very interesting to say about those dating apps.
Never had anything interesting to say ever.
And
For the record.
Said Mark, never.
well, and this ties directly into what we were just talking about, is the reciprocation, and it's a completely, it's a subtopic, but it's so important. So, give us your opinion that you explained to us a little earlier.
Dating apps.
Let's call it a pet peeve. Okay?
Yep,
It's a pet
I've
peeve
got
from
'em
my
too.
perspective. Let's talk about, you know what? Here are some commonalities. I'm looking for an LTR. Rob, do you know what an LTR is?
I think so.
What is it?
Long-term relationship.
Correct. Okay.
On a dating app.
On a dating app.
On a dating app.
This is your first impression to a potential suitor.
Yeah.
I'm looking for an LTR. Looking for a BFF. Do you know what a BFF is?
Best friends forever.
Best friends forever. You got it. And I'm looking for a soulmate. Do you know what a soulmate is?
That I definitely know what that is. Yes.
Okay. Somebody you are spiritually connected with. Got very deep things.
Yep.
Now, you're looking for those three things on a dating app. Those are very hard things. Those are very deep things. Here's the thing, and I can only
You and I are so on the same page right here.
I can only speak from a receiving perspective. So if you're a woman and you have one of those three things on your dating app, my God, I hope you are on that app right now and you are editing your profile. So here's the thing.
I kind of have to agree. Unless they're really stuck on that. If you're really tried and true and stuck on that, fine. But
The point is if you're out, no good relationship has ever been successful from active looking. It
takes time.
It's natural. It comes over time. If you're trying to put a square peg in a round hole, obviously that's never going to work.
So let me tell you the reciprocation of those three terms. Because I am the reciprocation of those three terms.
okay.
The reciprocation is coffee? Question mark. Dinner? Question mark. A drink? Question mark. Putting that kind of pressure on me immediately, I'm out. I don't
Okay.
even freaking know you. I don't even know you.
All right. I want to do this.
Bring it.
My favorite date request, because I'm very socially comfortable with going to a girl and saying, I would like to take you on a date. I'm that guy. Whether it's over a text or a dating app or in person or FaceTime, video chat or whatever. My favorite is brunch. So it's not morning, it's not lunch. It's coffee with food right after the gym. And hopefully she's coming from the gym too. So you get more of a, let's say, day-to-day representation.
I just want to say, hopefully she's coming from the gym is still pressure, but whatever. Go on.
Okay. You called me. Fair enough. But my point is I don't want to show up like I just came from the gym and then she comes up like we're going on a Saturday night date.
Can I translate?
Please.
All right. What you're looking for is the same thing I'm looking for, which is the same thing most people, in my opinion, should be looking for. A casual encounter.
Yes.
Here's the thing.
Keep it simple.
Exactly.
1
right.
hour.
You don't have to
You
be,
budget 1 hour. Mm-hmm. And if it goes 1.5 or two tops. Great.
You don't have to be dialed up. Look good, but you don't have to be dialed up.
Mm-hmm. I want to see your day-to-day.
Right. And let's have a conversation. A real conversation. Let's talk about who you are and where you're at. And you can talk to me about who I am and where I am at. And based on the subject of that conversation, based on the gravity of that conversation, we can now decide, do we need to have a date? Do we need to continue further? Do I want to ever see you again?
Okay, I want to tell you something. Oh, I was going to bring this up later, but now it fits. I had a gal that I was actually, I am actually still kind of interested in her, but I'm going to let it simmer. Our first date was in the produce section at Walmart for 30 minutes.
What were you producing?
A date.
Oh, wait.
So it was a date, and it's. I'll save it for another date. I'll explain how it was all set up. But I set that up intentionally, and because spontaneity is one of my core values for dating. I can't date somebody who doesn't have the ability to be spontaneous. It's just my thing. It's my jam. And we set this up from the time that the topic came up till the time we met at Walmart, and we're from different zip codes, 1 hour.
That's fine.
And it was 30 minutes, and it was spontaneous, and it was a date, but it was never intended to be a long, intimate, candlelight, kissy-wissy. It was more about, is there going to be a second?
Here's what that was. That was you and another person finding some commonality. Mm-hmm. It was you and that other person finding a neutrally safe zone. That was you and another person saying, we got something here. Let's see if we have enough to take it to the next level. Mm-hmm. The next level was just a real date. But you wanted that face-to-face interaction. She wanted that face-to-face interaction. So you met her at a place where she felt safe and you felt safe to come together, have a conversation and say, yep, just what I thought. We're good. Let's have a real date. Here's the thing.
You're exactly right.
Totally reinforces my point. You can't put pressure on somebody to be your BFF, to be your LTR, to be your whatever acronym you want to throw out there. I know that's what you're looking for, but to put that pressure on a person is asking way too much. What you're really asking for is this. What you're really asking for is, look, I'm not looking to play around. I'm not playing around. What I'm really looking for is somebody who I can connect with and potentially have something with. That is easily digestible. Mm-hmm. That I can take. You know what? I'm not here playing around. I'm not looking for a one-night stand. I'm not looking for a hookup. I would really like to find somebody that maybe to have a connection with. That's my loose translation of what these women are asking, but they're not saying it that way.
True.
And from a reciprocating
right.
standpoint of, look, I'm going to tell you right now, I have plenty of best friends. I don't need a BFF. I have a ton of them. LTR, long-term relationship, not looking for that either. I'm open to it, but I'm not looking for it. If it evolves into that, that's fine. But if you tell me I want a long-term relationship and that is it, you're being very definitive. And I don't know if I want that. Don't know if I'm ready for that. But I tell you what, if you and I have a connection, you better leave. I'm in.
Yeah.
So, really what they're asking, in my opinion, what they're asking is, I'm looking for a connection. I am also looking for a connection. Let's not put definitive terms on it at this point. But let's just say, I'm looking for somebody I can have coffee with and maybe coffee for a while. I'm looking for somebody I can have a drink with and enjoy having a drink with maybe for a while. Mm-hmm. I can come to terms with that.
So here's the reason I brought this topic up is because I think it's two sides to the same coin. On one hand, we have the women who are single, and they have this expectation of looking for a long-term relationship, looking for their soulmate, expectation. Then we have the females on the other side who are in a relationship. Valentine's Day comes around, and it's just expectation. There's got to be some parallel between that, sort of attitude and not to be negative, but I also think that it's a discussion worth having that I don't think a lot of people want to talk about.
Programming.
Just upbringing in some way, that there's this expectation that women expect to receive and expect men to give.
Mark, programming.
It was a funny thing you say that. I was actually going to say, Rob, answer that. Yeah, there's a lot of programming. And quite frankly, there's a lot of competitiveness, I feel, in that spectrum. Whereas,
I was just going to go down programming.
No.
Competitive, yes.
Yeah. You and I work together. You received flowers and I did not. Therefore, I am inferior and you are superior.
Oh, I'm going to go home and my man, passive aggressive.
Yeah.
It'll be a week for sure. Minimum of a week.
You know what? Let's cut to the chase.
And even if that guy does something at home, right? Something magnificent, like the lover's lock thing.
Right. Doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Because it wasn't showcased. So.
Yes! It wasn't showcased.
It's not fair. It's not fair to anybody.
You know what? Valentine's Day
sucks.
Can blink, blank, block, blick, bleep.
So, here's my challenge. You know, I say I like to challenge. Here's my challenge. Here's my challenge for every couple, every person. Every day is Valentine's Day.
Every day.
And if you celebrate every day as Valentine's Day, here's what you do. Not only are you fucking awesome as a spouse, But what you also accomplish is this. You give somebody empowerment to say, that's cool, you got flowers today? That's awesome. That is so cool. Good for you. That is great. And they can walk away from that saying, so what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, here's the thing.
High five, man. High five.
Last week, I got a kiss as soon as I walked through the door. You know why? Because I'm awesome and he loves me. Mm-hmm. You know what I got the week before that? A slap on the ass. Why? Because he thinks I am sexy.
Yeah.
You know what I got the week before that? Nothing.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to hear anymore.
Nothing. Nothing really. But I got a hug. And I got to thank you for being such a good spouse. You know what I got the week before that? The same thing. But here's what I've got.
Yeah, you're right. You're onto something there.
Here's what I've got. Week after week after week, I have a subtle reminder of how important I am in this person's life. Mm-hmm. And because of that, Valentine's Day can suck it. That's cool. You got flowers at the office. But you know what I get? A weekly reminder of how important I am in that person's life.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Just make it a 365.
I mean, like, I want it
365
because I'm
days.
the host. It's like I want to say something better than that, and I don't have it. That's it.
Because that's
Mark said it.
that is what the standard should be.
And it should be both ways.
And that's just it. It needs to be on both sides.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to slap on the ass and told that I'm sexy.
I want to get slapped on the ass.
I want to kiss. I want to kiss when I walk through the door. That I get this passionate kiss, and that passionate kiss is like, what the heck was that for? Because you're sexy and awesome, and I just want you to know it.
I think nothing more need be said.
Yeah. That's it.
So, Valentine's Day.
I mean, I could say more, but I'll just rewind this episode and play it again.
So, Valentine's Day can suck it.
Thanks for watching.
Episode's over.